When Dragon Ball Super first premiered, we quickly found out that the series was going to be retelling the previous two theatrical movies, Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, before moving on to new material. Well, on this video, we're going to look back at those early episodes of Dragon Ball Super as I'm joined by Dimsy as we give you our 3 best episodes from the Battle of Gods arc. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Emperor Big D for all the updates on the channel, a preview of upcoming content, and much more. Alright folks, and welcome to a new series here on Geekdom 101 that I'm calling the best and worst of Dragon Ball Super, where myself and Dimsy, who I'm going to introduce here in a moment, are going to go back and look at the previous arcs of Dragon Ball Super and tell you guys our favorite episodes, 3 per arc, of each individual arc. And it's going to work out to where we're going to give you the best and the worst, and on this video we're going to tell you the 3 best episodes from the Battle of Gods arc. So please welcome, folks, and definitely check out his channel from across the pond, Dimsy.
Yo, what's good? Across the pond, it's not really that far. I guess it kind of is, but I'm happy to be here. Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. So, like I said, we're talking about the Battle of Gods arc. There was good stuff. There was bad stuff. A lot of folks consider the movies better, but, you know, there's some good stuff here. So let's go back and finally look back. What is your number 3 best episode of the Battle of Gods arc? And before I even go there, let me remind everybody that the Battle of Gods arc in Super was episodes 1 through 14. So just making sure people are aware what we're talking about. What's your number 3?
So my number 3 is episode 2, Onward to the Promised Resort. Vegeta goes on a family trip, and you'd think, whoa, why is this one of your top 3 so early on in the arc? Now think of it like this. This was an extremely funny episode purely because of Vegeta's interaction. There was a very memorable segment with Vegeta standing atop of that little ship as Bulma was quote-unquote training him, and he gave a lot of nice Easter eggs with for the Dorian Zarbon with those fruits, and I liked it because it was the promise. I enjoyed the Boo arc, so seeing how Vegeta he's paying back and he's honoring the promise he made to Trunks in the Boo arc, where he said, look, if you were to land a punch on me, I'll take you on a holiday or something. And it just makes the viewer believe that the continuity is Toriyama or Toei, that they have that continuity in the back of their head as they're planning the episode. And firstly, it was great character development for Vegeta, and at the same time, hey, when Vegeta does something funny, it's extra funny. So that's my number 3. I just absolutely loved it.
Did you find it interesting that with episode 1 they focused a lot on Goku and like Goten, and then with episode 2 they went to the Vegeta family? Do you think that was done on purpose? Do you think that was kind of the whole objective there?
I think so. It's purely because I do think that they were reintroducing the characters, although it was 1 week after the end of Kai. They were reintroducing them in such a way where they don't need to have Goku and Vegeta interact, by doing them separately. So when Goku and Vegeta interact, it makes that all the more memorable. And hey, we had a little action sequence as well, and we saw the first transformation of the arc. So it was the best way forward with the comedy, as well as moving on to the more action stuff that we like in Dragon Ball Z. But yeah.
Yes, Vegeta will get a lot of love on this list because he may have been the actual MVP of this arc. So that leads to my number 3, which is Dragon Ball Super Episode 7, How Dare You Hit My Bulma, Vegeta's Furious Mutation. Now, a lot of people don't like this episode because I think a lot of folks felt that the mutation line was a bait and switch. Some people thought he was going to go to SS3. And that's unfortunate that that didn't happen for a lot of Vegeta fans, but I really enjoyed this episode because we got to see Beerus go in there and destroy Gotenks, destroy 18, Piccolo, and Tenshin Han. I thought that was great stuff. We saw the fury of Beerus just murking Boo just ruthlessly, and Gohan. I thought that even though the movie portion of this was really good, I thought that, you know, other than the Gotenks being spanked on his ass, I thought the TV version was actually slightly better. And I know this is kind of, people have argued this before, but I love Vegeta, like, you know, cooking for Beerus. I love that whole sequence. It was hilarious. And of course, the slap to Bulma, even though some may feel it's a little bit over dramatic in this episode. I thought it was fantastic, and I thought Ryo Horikawa's performance when he went, ah!
Exactly.
Oh, I loved it so much. So this is my number 3 favorite episode of the Battle of God's Arc. What's your number 2?
So my number 2 is episode 14. It was the finale. This is every last bit of my power. The Battle of Gods concludes. So it's just, firstly, because it's a finale, you'd expect it to be really good. And I like the choreography of the actual fight.
Yeah.
The highlight of the Battle of Gods arc from many, although people say that overall the movie is superior to the arc itself, the fight between Goku and Beerus was very much a throwback, very, very well done. And it's just the variety of the types of battles, whether it be a key battle, physical battle, and we saw a bunch of new moves. And it's just Goku was trying harder and harder, and Beerus came across as so... the ending, so from the movie we see him destroy a piece of rock, but he came across as far more ambiguous, and he retains that position of a neutral antagonist. And this was my favorite part of the episode. For 4 episodes, as you said, Vegeta was the MVP. He didn't speak for 4 episodes since episode 10, and he broke his silence just to tell Goku to shut up. The irony there is, I don't know, there's some sort of irony there, and it's very well done in the way Vegeta was utilized whilst not having him on the forefront. And
don't forget Vegeta catching Goku at the end, which was a great moment.
And that's where he broke his silence. It's just that little moment they shared that, hey, these two Saiyans, us as Saiyans, we have a new goal to overcome. We battled Boo, we survived, but now we have to try and achieve and fend off these new threats which are evident, whereas if it's Beerus or whatever, they just need to be stronger. It's just, I loved it. That's my episode. That's my favorite.
And Tadayoshi Yamamuro came back to do animation on us, so it did look very crisp and very action-packed. It was a fun episode for sure. Now, my number 2 is going to be your number 3, actually. Episode 2, Onward to the Promised Resort. Vegeta goes on a family trip. Now, you already said pretty much most of what I was going to say about the episode, and I will just add this. I love the fact that Vegeta was so funny in this episode. The scene with the eel covering him with ink is among my favorites in Dragon Ball Super. I love that. I love, like you said, it was a throwback to the Buu arc. And also, one thing that you didn't mention, which I will bring up, is that we got to see Beerus and Whis interacting with some aliens, and it was the first time that we had heard Whis actually refer to it as Universe 7. So, some good world building in this episode. Little fun fact for those who don't know, when Dragon Ball Super began, the only episodes that they had completed were episodes 1 and 2, which is why the animation looked so good on those. When they got to episode 3, they had to rush through it because of issues. But I love the episode. It's my second favorite of the arc, and I agree with your points. What is your number 1?
So the number 1 moment, the number 1 episode, which I think is most people's, is episode 11, Let's Keep Going, Beerus-sama, the Battle of Gods continues. And what can I say? It's just the use of camera angles, how they try to portray the equality for Goku and Beerus. And it's like the best way possible to show this was truly the Battle of Gods. Goku has transcended to the level of the gods. And the thing is, for the first half of the episode, we saw Goku with his little playful attitude. He's not taking it too seriously. And then, next thing you see, like a snap of a finger, bang, Beerus is so menacing, so maniacal, and you're thinking, crap, Beerus is savage. His savagery is seeping through, and he's just pummeling Goku. It was very well paced. The story of the episode was well said, and I don't know what more is there to say. It was an excellent episode.
That's also my number 1. That is my number 1 as well. Let's Keep Going, Beerus, Battle of Gods continues. And just to add to what you're saying, I like the fact that, okay, the movie version of Battle of Gods I thought was much better overall, like for the overall story. Better pacing, I thought, more memorable scenes. But as far as individual episodes go, I think this episode beats the movie, just this part of the fight. I like the fact that Goku had to get accustomed to his God form and at first was kind of struggling.
Exactly.
That was great stuff. I loved the animation, was just absolutely fantastic. And one thing that's been a little bit of controversy in our community, Dimsy, is that this is the episode where Beerus stabbed Goku in the gut and his god power actually healed the stab wound. Now, this has been a subject of much controversy because we've never seen Goku do that again. We haven't seen him do it in his blue-haired form. Some people actually believe that the healing factor is exclusive to the red-haired form, and we know that this healing factor was not in the movie, so it's probably something just for the anime. Probably something Toei came up with that they thought they'd never have to use again or address again. But I do think it could cause some problems because now people are presuming things that might not necessarily be true. They might think that only the red form can heal, or that maybe Goku lost his ability to heal, or even that the red form is stronger than the blue form, which it's not, but some people still believe that. What do you think about the healing thing? Do you think it hurts the story of Super?
See, here's the thing. We have to remember that this episode had a lot of key points where, no, I don't think it hurts the story of Super, but at the same time, let's look at all the new things we saw in that episode. We saw new moves. We saw Goku crunching the key ball. Beerus showing that palm key lightsaber, palm key attack.
The psionic blade. Not to mention that I love the part where they're in the rocks, bro, and Beerus is on top of him throwing those punches like MMA style. I thought that was fantastic stuff, man.
And it truly captured his savagery. So did that healing factor really affect the story? No, look at it from a larger perspective. There was a lot of key spots in that episode, which is why it's memorable, whether it be Beerus' savagery, the new moves. Hey, Goku does finally a proper Kamehameha, because before that it was more so a Hadouken, which I couldn't stand, but we saw Goku doing a Kamehameha to Beerus' little key football type thingies. It was a spot fest of an episode, and that's exactly why it worked. Look, we love shonen. I'm pretty much an overgrown kid. I just love all these big moves, these big spots, as you were to call it. What did you think about these spots?
I loved them, bro. I mean, it was a great episode altogether. Just I wish they would have brought back the healing factor later on, but I thought it was great. At least we both agree on that. So everybody check out Dimsy's domain. I'm going to leave the link down below to his channel. And we'll be back next week as Dimsy and I are going to talk about the 3 worst episodes of Battle of Gods, the arc. And of course, feel free to tell us your favorites down in the comment section below. Thank you, Dimsy.
You're welcome, mate. It's a pleasure to be here.
I will see you next week.